So I'm 34 years old and I have 7 children. Crazy. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. So I have been having a lot of videos where I feature my children, and a lot of you are confused. So I've had people come into my comments and ask, Kwani, how many children do you have? And all that. And so today I get to answer all that and give you some tips, because my situation is not the usual. So I'm 34 years old and I have 7 children. Crazy. And so there's still room for more. I became a parent for the first time when I was 23 years. That's 11 years ago. And it's been a roller coaster from then. So just to explain my dynamics, I have 2 children that I adopted. So I met them in their early 20s. So they came when my first child was in her, I think 4 years. So I got to have an additional baby. That's Maureen. So Ariella is 11. I met Maureen when she was 21. And then a little later on, I met Paula. And then I got married. So when I got married, I got 2 children already. So that's Paula and Van. And then I have given birth to 2 more children. And there's another child. So I can say that I have 7 children right now as I speak. And I just wanted to walk you through that journey, because a lot of people think blended families are difficult or easy depending on which side you are. And that explains why every time I'm recording, there's always a child in the background. So just forgive the noise. And so I wanted to share quite a bit as the holidays are coming. I just want to share quite a bit of my experience as a 34-year-old with 7 children. And I know it's a lot, but I know there are certain things that you can put in place to make the work easier. And there's definitely certain things that are put in place to make the work easier, and to ensure that everyone is blended and everyone is comfortable and everyone feels like they belong. So we don't stay with one of the children. So Paula and Ruth also got married. So Ruth is married. Paula comes over during the holidays. And with that, you get to see there's different set of rules for her, like when she's here and when she's with the mom. And I'll get to explain how I get to balance all that. When Ruth, for example, that is married now, that's a whole different dynamic. Like, she's creating a family of her own, and we have to be respectful of that fact. And Maureen has a huge gap with Mali and Fadili. Sometimes they call her mommy. So she's officially the deputy parent. I'll get to talk about my dynamics and hopefully get to talk to them each, so that they all share their perspective. And so, so that's really my dynamic. Today, I wanted to share something a bit more about how I get to juggle with all this, because with every child, I know for all the parents, you can relate that with every child, you'll have a different relationship. You have to cultivate a different relationship with every child, because all their personalities are so different, and there's no one rule fits it all. There has to be different dynamics that you have to put in place. And so for me, it's been recognizing that all these children have different needs, and I have to be able to meet their different needs while also still living my life, because I'm big on self-care. I'm big on not pouring from an empty cup. And so I'll start with just the 5 fast tips that I have had to employ, especially with the children that I have had, like my bonus babies. I'm not a fan of adoptive, step, all these things. They're just my children. And so I don't get to refer to anyone as a step or adoptive. But for the purposes of this video, now I have 2 adoptive and 2 step, and 4 that I've actually pushed. And so today I just wanted to go through some of the things that have helped me really with my step, which are called my bonus babies, that has made it easy for me to be able to relate with them in a manner in which we like each other. I tend to feel that we really like each other. Maybe really is a stretch, but we coexist. And so the first thing that I have learned is that for me, my biggest role is to form a relationship with them. I am not the disciplinarian. Trust me, if you come into a child's life when they are not babies, then you don't get to assume roles that you don't have. I got into their lives when Paula was, is it 11 or 12? And Van was 9 or 8, something. You cannot then come and start assuming that you're the disciplinarian in this relationship. And so I don't take up the role of a disciplinarian at all. I just want to build a relationship and a working relationship with them, because I know that this is going to be something that I will be in their lives for forever, really. And so for me, it's to be able to ensure that they understand that I have their back. They understand that I am in it for their interest. And forgive me, I have a flu. I'm really sick, actually. So I hope you can hear me. But for me, it's to be able to ensure that they understand that I am in this to build relationship. The second thing that I've learned that you need to do is to build a strong marital bond. You don't fight in public. You don't disagree in public. And this does not only apply to the other children. It's for all children. The children must know that daddy and mommy are on the same page, and that there is no conflict that comes in front of them for them to be able to give their opinions, because they're children. They are not supposed to be exposed to certain things. And so I've learned to be able to ensure that the marital bond is intact, so that we are able to parent from the same front. The third thing is you have to make it easier for the other parent. You have to ensure that relationship is cultivated, especially for mommies. I think this channel is watched by women more. And one of the things that I've realized happens is you tend to want to now seclude the children from their biological mom. And I think that's the worst thing that anyone can ever do. There is no competition. There is no competition for who is the best mother, who does. You have to ensure that the other parent wins. You have to ensure that the other parent is respected. The other parent also feels that respect, even from you, because if adults fight, it's the children that tend to bear the greatest brand. And so you have to ensure that you are respectful of the other parent, but also cultivate a bond between the child and the other parent. And you're not the person to be gossiping or talking ill of the other parent in front of the children. So the biological mother must be respected, and her space must always remain her space. So that's the third thing. The fourth thing is, especially for a child that moves from one place to another, in this case, our baby Paula, one of the things that you have to ensure is that she is given time to adjust. She's given time to to have her space. I think it's already very difficult for a child to be able to move, and there's different set of rules, there's different set of everything. And so there has to be a space where you allow them to adjust. You don't force things on them. You don't make it so difficult for them, so that they are able to do things at their own pace. The other thing is, do not ever grill a child. Like, I don't know how to call it. Like trying to ask what happens in the other household, trying to just be like so in the business of what happens in the other household. It's not the best for relationship building. It's not the best for just basic respect. If a child wants to tell you something, they will tell you. If they don't tell you, probably there's a reason why they haven't told you, and I think it needs to stick at that. So parents must ensure that they are the bigger people in the room. The other thing that we are now cultivating, and you'll see a lot of it during this Christmas, is holiday traditions, rituals, just coming up with our own dynamic, what we do. Like, for example, I'm sorry. For example, we were just having a discussion around having every birthday celebrated. And so, like, if for example Van is born in November, so the entire November is around celebrating him. People who share birthdays, we have been having talks around how to ensure that we still accord them parties and birthday parties and stuff, but also like within that month they feel special. So like, for example, next month is Ariela's birthday, it's my husband's birthday, and there could be a surprise as well. And so we have resorted now that every month we will get to appreciate the person whose birthday falls in that month, the entire month. So such rituals, coming up with traditions, holiday traditions, and just ensuring that the children understand, they know what to expect. The seventh thing, I think it's the seventh one, form a parental coalition, have the same set of rules, like this is what applies, this is what does not apply, and these are conversations that need to be had between the adults. The other thing that you need to do is to not try to replace their parents. I think I talked about this earlier. And so with Maureen, for example, who does not have like parents, you give her parents passed on, her biological parents passed on. You have to ensure that you recognize that they still grieve there. Like, as much as you come in with the best intentions, you will never get to replace someone's parents. And when they're grieving, you have to ensure that you extend grace within that dynamic for them to understand. Don't be too hard on them. And even for the kids that still have parents that are living separately, there is still a dynamic of grief. They might have wanted their parents to end up together, and so that didn't happen. And so you have to constantly ensure that that becomes one of the things that you clearly understand. So you're not replacing anyone. You're just who you are, and you try to cultivate a relationship outside of the other relationships and allow for children to grieve. The 10th one is don't play favorites. Don't pick sides. And I think this has been one of the things that has, like, parents, especially mothers, have had a really bad rep. The stepmother thing, like, you are a stepmother, like, you are supposed to by default be evil. And I think we have to change that narrative. My rule is I tend to treat the people that I didn't have the most relationship with when they were young better. It's something that I do. I it could be spoiling, could be like so many things. Until like even the people in my household at times complain, and I think there's need for balance there. But I am very intentional about ensuring that no one feels left out. No one can ever say that like I was treated unfairly, I was treated badly just because. I think as an adult, you have to ensure that you're always the bigger person. So don't pick sides, don't play favorites. Let everyone play by the same rules. And if you can, try as much as possible to ensure that the ones that did not have the best, the closest relationship with you, like for example, like I met, like meeting Van at 9 years old, and then having Ariella my entire life. Like there has to be a way in which he understands that he also is part and parcel of this family. And you have to be intentional about creating that. And the last one is creating a personal tradition in every child. As I said earlier, every child is very different, and you have to ensure that the children understand. You have like a personal relationship with all the children at a personal level. So one might like hiking, one might like going to the gym, one might like cooking, baking stuff. Try as much as possible to identify what they like and do it with them. So these are some of my tips. I'll get to talk about parenting a lot, especially during this holiday season. We are all home. We are going up country for the first time. It's exciting. And we will have Vlogmas. So we'll have a video per day in December. And I can't wait to share our journey with you. If there's any particular video that you'd like to see, please let me know. Thank you for everyone who has texted me and asked me and given me like ideas of what you'd like to see. I would really want you to see what you want to see from this channel. If you haven't subscribed, almost 50% of people who watch my videos have not subscribed. Okay, get me to 1,000 before we get to December. And I can't wait to see you on the next one. Click on the next video and watch us just be a family, a beautifully blended family. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Until next time, bye.